So in the Frode L exam, there was another interesting topic. It's here. We should make sure to emphasize that more. Optimization of one scarce resource. Just make it bigger. So optimization of one scarce resource is the one where you actually had the student job assignment. I think most of you will remember that one. So we have the English assignment text here, and we have some steps down here. I don't know, maybe we can make it more compact if I reorganize it a little bit. Oops. So, okay, I can make it bigger actually to begin with here. Bigger here. Okay, so this is basically the information given in the assignment here. You can stop the video and read the assignment carefully. But in this case, they are suggesting a solution they already made, what they're currently doing. And the approach is you have to calculate your, basically start from scratch and calculate your own optimal solution and then compare the two and comment if you can improve on what they're already doing. So we can do this based on this information here. Identify the scarce resource. Well, when you read the text, that is basically straightforward. That's salesman's hours or saleswoman's hours. So key account managers, how much time have they got available with their work? Okay, and calculate contribution margin per unit of the scarce resource. That's what we have to get next. So I will need several more columns. I will insert here, and I will maybe I will also insert one here. Let's see if I get to need that. So first one here would be, I'll just take a short English version, abbreviations, contribution margin per transaction. And that's hopefully the easier part. Revenue minus costs. It's a contribution margin they make on each operation here. But that is per transaction. We also have to find out, as we sit down here, contribution margin per unit of the scarce resource. And the scarce resource is hours here, so we have to convert it into key account manager hours per hour. I just write hour, that's right. Put the key account manager title into it. It's understood that it's person's working time we're talking about. Contribution margin per hour will be, okay, 500 basically divided by, you can make 1 1/3 of these operations with the A segment in 1 hour. So you will eventually get this result per this contribution margin per hour. And you can draw the formula down to the next 2 rows, and you can make it look a little bit more beautiful one way or the other. Okay. Third step down here, give priority to different activity options by decreasing contribution margin per resource unit. Yeah, we could maybe make another column for that. Do we need another column? Well, I try to make this detailed. So I will call this priority. And this is the most profitable, this is the second most profitable, and this is the third most profitable. And here it looks a little bit silly with the decimals, so I will get rid of them. Okay, so now I'm actually doing, well, I'm doing our solution here. Currently done transactions, does it demand per day transactions? Yes, so I think I need at least 2 more columns. Let's just try here. Insert. So demand per day, I could say hours allocated. It can be done in different ways like so often, but this is one of the approaches. So we say the most profitable one is priority 1, in other words. Well, we can do, there's a market, there's a demand for 14 of these operations per day, and each of them will take 0.25 hours to make. That makes 3.5 hours to this kind of activity. And then for the second the second priority. We will see, do we have enough time to make all of them? 10 by 0.2. That'll be 2 hours, so we can add this up in our head. So it'll be 5.5 hours. We have still not reached the limit of 7 hours. So up here, we could say, let's see here. We can do this in many different ways, but we could try to figure out how we have 1.5 hours left. So we don't, though I don't like that numbers and tables, maybe I'll make an exception and type the 7 minus how many hours we dedicated to this, minus how many hours we dedicated to this. And I can just, I didn't finish the formula yet, but if I just press this, I can see I have 1.5 hours left up to 7 hours. And now I have to finish my formula. So I can take the 1.5 hours and, well, actually I am dedicating 1.5 hours, so I have the result. But then I have to check. You can see this takes 0.75 hours, and you could check that will leave you time precisely for 2 of these operations. You could have a problem if you left time for only 1.8 or something, because then you can probably not make a fraction of a transaction. Then you'll have to round it down, and you'll get some idle capacity in the end. But here we are lucky. They made a nice exam for these people. We had 1.5 hours left, and that will allow us exactly to be utilized in full, so we can make 2 operations. So then we need another column. We need to total contribution margin. Should say, maybe you just call it like that, or for allocated hours. Maybe you just call it total contribution margin. But anyway, the important thing here is contribution margin per hour multiplied by the hours. And I will copy this down, and then I almost forget my steps here. So give priority to, we did that. Allocate capacity according to the previous, small mistake here. Previous steps. That's basically what we did here in the column I. And calculate total contribution margin and profit. But they don't give us some fixed cost here, so we just can get to the contribution margin. And basically we have to do that. We could say here, say total optimized contribution margin, CM. So now we have the explanation. Ops is the sum of these 3. So we see we get a better result than the 6,400. We get 7,200. This is not really part of our calculation here, but we could have recreated. We could basically have recreated all of this table, but I didn't do that. So I think I will just take some gray paint here to emphasize we didn't use this for anything. Total optimized contribution by 7,200. Okay, what do they actually ask you about? Calculate and suggest a more optimal allocation of transaction from a pure management accounting point of view and calculate. So we have basically done that. We will say we have not expressed it in. Let's read it again. A more optimal allocation of transactions. We have not really said how many transactions are made. We have said how much time is dedicated to each kind of transaction. Should we add this? Okay, we'll add this and make them happy. Oh, I better do this not with a shortcut. You cannot see that. That's insert. So transactions done. And then we can simply take it here. We could say how much is allocated to it of time. How much does each transaction take us? And we could maybe take some paint and let that help us to emphasize that this is a result. We take some yellow paint. So that is basically, in exam you should make a small, like 2 rows of text where you explain about what you found. Let's just see here. So yeah, so 311 also comment briefly in text, but you can do that for yourself. But it's based on the yellow things here. And then we have the 312. So basically about discuss briefly if there are other considerations you would include in your suggestions. I'll say value of customer as reference. Can we use them to get other customers? Expected future development of customer. Will they grow? Will they become more profitable? Are they less profitable now because they're not so used to working with us, etc. You should do a little bit better than I do here in an exam, but this is just a brief, hopefully helpful video for you. So I will end this 11 minute and 30 second video here.